Making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture Science. We do what we must because we can.
Because we can. What's up, everybody? After a brief hiatus, last week off.
Yeah, holiday. I got kind of sick.
I was sick.
I think everyone got sick. I think it just spread through this town like wildfire.
Yeah, everybody pretty much had the same thing. It lasted for about 2 good days, and you were mostly better. I'm still congested.
Yeah, I'm definitely still congested. But
Tom's not here again.
No, Tom's not here.
Not here.
He's got stuff to do.
He's got stuff. I'm Johnny525.
Samson, FC Samson on the twits.
On the twits.
Same as his is the same. It's just Johnny525.
I am Johnny525 everywhere I can possibly be Johnny525.
Yeah.
I am Johnny525 on Game Center. I'm Johnny525 on PlayStation Network, Xbox 360, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
I am Samson most places. Unless the name's taken.
Right.
Because...
See, that's the thing. Johnny525 is never taken.
No, it's pretty specific, especially with the mixture of numbers and letters. It really helps your cause.
That was kind of my... That was my goal. You know, I tried the brief Johnny 5, and I even tried the Johnny 5 with the 5 and the IVE, and that was still taken. So I went with the 25.
Yeah.
And the 25 was, that's the age I was when I... Yeah.
Well.
I'm real unique.
Yes.
There.
I always love those
original.
ones when someone does like their the date they made it. It's like their email address is their name 2005. You're like, well, they're really unique there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll let you go first. My opening's gonna be long.
Okay. So. Yeah, mine's pretty short. I after BlizzCon. Oh, lights on. God, I'm an idiot. I'm so terrible at this. BlizzCon happened and Reaper of the Souls was announced and they showed some gameplay.
Right.
And then 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, Friends and Family Beta came out, and there was no restrictions on streaming it. So I started seeing it on Twitch, started watching it, and it looks like it's going in the right direction. So it was on sale this week, so I bought it for like $20.
That's the expansion, right?
No, well, the expansion's not out. I'm saying, the expansion comes out next year sometime. They haven't done a release date. I'm just saying, I didn't have a copy of Diablo 3 because I'd got my account banned.
I got it.
And I was saying I probably won't play it anymore just because it didn't seem like it was the direction I wanted to play. And then I started playing it, and I leveled to 60 like in 3 days because it's
wow.
Well, it's really easy once you have done it a bunch of times. It doesn't take me very long to do it. I leveled 3 or 4 other characters to 60 when I was playing.
Wow.
Out of the 5 classes, and it took maybe 8 hours total to play it through 3 times, which gets you to 60. Anyway, so I played that over the weekend while I was sick, and then I actually started playing Path of Exile again, which is a similar game.
Right.
And then I realized how much I love that game more than Diablo 3 in the current stat. But I think it'll be in the right direction once the game comes out again. So I'm excited for it again. More excited than I was because I was not going to get it, which would have been, other than the last WoW expansion, which is understandable because I just don't play it anymore, and it's not a very casual game. You kind of got to play that game pretty seriously, so I didn't buy that. But it would have been the first Blizzard game I didn't buy. That was single player, so.
Right.
But I probably will buy it.
So you bought Diablo 3 again?
Yes, because my account had gotten banned. Well, because I'd already made
you made a bot.
I'd already made a bunch of money on the real auction house. I
right.
think I made about $240 selling real money, selling items for people for real money.
Right.
And then the game got really uninteresting. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll just try to make some more money off this thing. So then I bought it for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And then what always happens is your account gets banned. And then I said, screw it, I'm done. But yeah, it was on sale for $20. So.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, you can't go wrong with that. It was one of the things on Thursday. I don't remember where I got it. I think it was on their website, maybe. I don't remember. Something.
For Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you go Black Friday shopping?
No. I don't have anything to buy right now.
I went.
What did you go? What store?
I went to Walmart and Shopko.
So Walmart opened up at 6 on Thursday. When did you go?
Well, that's when the sale started.
Well, that's what I mean.
They were open all day.
Oh, they weren't closed?
No.
They usually close.
No. They were open all day. The sale started at 6. Huh. And last year I ran into an issue with, we showed up somewhere expecting to buy the $100 TV or something. And they were like, oh, we handed tickets out at like noon.
It's like, well, why the fuck did you do that?
Right. And then you go back and you look at the flyers, and in really fine print on the bottom, it's like, we may hand coupons out to reserve items and
early.
First come, first serve. And I'm like, that's retarded. And I guess essentially what they're trying to do is get rid of the mob of people
to that one item
rushing in through the door and trampling people and getting themselves killed.
That plus I'd imagine fighting over items,
right?
Because I'm sure shit was getting broke. And then, but if you're getting a little stub, then you would go up to I want this item, and then bring you the item, and then you leave. Which, God, if you have a bunch, I can't imagine how annoying that was.
Yeah. But. So everybody did that last year. I ran into that at Walmart and Kmart last year trying to get stuff. So this year I took a second look at the ads and found a similar thing that said 2 hours before the sale they'd be giving out
tickets for the
tickets
stuff.
Or for high priced items or whatnot. And my mom wanted a TV and a Blu-ray player. My sister wanted an iPad, and my mom wanted some GPS things. And so I was like, all right, well, we didn't have anything going on. My in-laws didn't cook this year, so we were just hanging out at the house eating pizza. And it was a real casual Thanksgiving.
Yeah, must have been.
Nice. It was nice. So I was like, well, I'll go down there at 4 and wait in line, get wristbands or whatever for you. So I did that. I went down and got a wristband for the TV and the iPod.
That's kind of nice. iPad. You get to have one person go down.
Yeah, because they were having dinner at 4.
Yeah,
at my sister's in-laws, and my mom's like, shit, and I'm like, I'll take care of it. I don't got anything going on. So I went down there, got the wristbands, started texting with them. I was like, you better bring backup because we got like 5 things we need that. Or everybody wants that are,
decent size items.
Yeah, it's not, I can't be. What they would do is they would give you a ticket and then they'd say, okay, the sale starts at 6, be back in line by 7 to get, to be guaranteed your item. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, so I've got a guarantee in this wristband, but it's a 1 hour guarantee for certain items.
I don't know if you get to the line fast enough
to come back. That was my
item.
concern. So I texted my sister and I was like, well, I'll go get the iPad. The wristband for the TV is not put on my wrist very well, so we can peel it off and put it on yours, and you can go stand in that line. Have one of your kids go stand here, another one go stand there, mom can go stand here, and we get all 5 big ticket items that we want. No hassle. And so that's what we did.
Oh, well, that's nice that it was a decent experience.
Yeah.
Usually people have shitty experiences.
I grabbed the iPad, and there wasn't really anything that I was shooting for this year. Grabbed the iPad, went through to my sister's cart, and then I ran over to the movie and game sales, and I got the entire series of Big Bang Theory for $60,
Ooh.
$10 a piece, and Gladiator on Blu-ray for $4.
Borrow that from you so I can burn it all.
Yeah.
Well, copy it all. I'm not going to burn it.
So that, and then I had to be to Shopko at 8 to get some shelves for my daughter's room that were insanely priced.
Well, that's Shopko. What do you expect? I always love Shopko's sales. I know we're like talking about games right now at all, but or like you go in on like a random day, not a holiday, nothing. They're like, "Hey, it's 60% off." It's like your 60% off is more expensive than Walmart.
Right.
Dude. Like,
yeah.
I understand people don't know how to use their brains, but I saw the same thing there.
I'm still seeing like Hastings right now. I'm finding used copies of next gen titles. For like $68 in store and online, but in store I'm seeing those tags. And I'm like, I don't get how you can do that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how a retail store can sell a used item over retail price. But I guess technically everything's a suggested retail
MSRP price. So
but anyway, so yeah. I've been.
We haven't talked about the Xbox One since it came out.
Yep, we took last week off, so I got mine. I went to the UPS store bright and early in the morning and waited around for it to show up off the plane, which was late. But
it's holiday season.
Yeah,
I expect.
It was cold. It was weather.
Got
it. Went home. plugged it in, turned it on, downloaded the first update, which took longer than I expected.
How big was it?
I didn't tell me.
Oh.
I don't recall if it told me, but I think the whole thing took about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. It was.
To be honest, though, their servers were probably significally overloaded, so you probably weren't getting your max speed.
Yeah, that could have been.
God forbid they have mirrors. But.
Downloaded everything, and then the dashboard pops up, and I went through and changed my profile picture and started downloading apps. That was my first irritation. Was I had to download an app for damn near everything. To use the Blu-ray player, I had to download an app.
Well, it's one of those things where I wouldn't. I mean, because a long time ago, 6 months ago, they were like, "We're behind."
Right.
And
it's clear.
This might be some of the things that they were like, "We'll just make an app for it, and we can deal with everything else later."
Sure.
So I mean, that's I guess understandable. But I mean, even for even the Wii, you had to download an app to play DVDs, so it's not like it's
I had to download an app to access the game marketplace and the movie marketplace and the music marketplace.
Well,
download an app.
They have changed it into more of an actual operating system,
right?
Instead of being integrated, so that kind of makes sense, I guess.
So
maybe it's easier to update those specific things.
As far as I know, it's supposed to just upgrade update whenever the update's available.
No. What I mean is they might have had to do dashboard updates to update some of the stuff that was built in.
Right.
And then now they don't have to.
Yeah. So I sat down. I downloaded everything I needed or thought I needed, and tweaked my profile. The profile picture you have on your 360 will show up on the one. But it's in a box, say, this big, with a picture this big.
Because it's not a big enough...
Because it's the resolution or whatnot. Yeah, the file, whatever, doesn't fill. So I had to go and pick one of their generics to fill my box.
That's funny that they didn't...
OCD.
They might upgrade that later.
Yeah, they might. But... I don't know. So what was the first thing? The first thing I did was bought the character pack for Killer Instinct.
Okay.
And then I installed Rise, and then I installed Call of Duty, and the installs take quite a bit of time.
Well, I mean, you're installing 24 to 30 gigs on a non-solid state hard drive. So.
True. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes before you can play the game while it's installing.
Oh,
it takes well over an hour
to install the whole game.
Roughly.
That's pretty painful.
It definitely takes longer to install it if you're playing it while it installs.
Well, yes,
that was clear. So that was.
Was it glitchy at all when you were playing while installing?
It didn't seem to be. No.
That's good.
No.
At least that's working properly.
Didn't seem to be. It's
pretty seamless.
It's pretty seamless. It's pretty responsive.
They did that in WoW like 2-3 years ago. They started doing that where you can, or Blizzard started doing that where it'll install all the really important files and then all the shit you haven't even gotten to yet.
Yeah, you can do that on. You've been able to do that on PCs for.
Well, I know, but most developers didn't utilize that.
Right. But yeah, so I'm enjoying Killer Instinct.
And there's 8
there's
characters?
6 right now.
6 right now.
2 more coming.
That's right.
There's 2 pack options, which I wasn't aware of. It kind of irritated me because everything I had heard
there was one pack, and then the 2 other players would just come when they were ready.
Right, but
that's what I thought.
I thought it was. I was told that it was $20. You can download the entire roster for $20, or you can buy each individual for $5. And I was like, well, if I'm going to download 5, then that's $25. I'm just going to get the pack.
Yeah, of course.
So I was told $20. So I had my games and I had my
5 per character is pretty pricey.
I had my 20. That's about average. Really?
Once they come out with more, that's going to be a pretty big purchase.
Yeah.
Per character, I don't know.
Anyways, so I get in there to download the pack. I was trying to remember where I was, and there's 2 of them. There's a standard pack, which is all the characters. It's the 5 extras plus the 2 to come later, which Fulgore is already confirmed, and then the skeleton guy. I forget his name.
It's not Skeletor, but I feel like it should be.
Right. Anyways, those are the two that we're gonna get down the road.
Oh, okay.
Plus possibly more, but they won't be included in the pack
pass
that I bought. And then there's another pass, which is all the characters plus all the additional costume equipment, because you can tweak their costumes. But that one was like $50.
Jeez.
And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not. Had I known, I might have prepared. But even in hindsight, it's not anything that like is really worth the extra $30.
The thing that makes me angry about developers that are new to free-to-play games, they don't understand the price points, or like it's one of those things where you buy the game, or the game's free, and then you buy the characters.
Right.
And every other game on the planet where you spend $60 on a game or whatever the price of the game is, usually the initial costume stuff is stuff you unlock while playing the game. Well,
and that's the thing is,
which
as
is really
it appears,
weird.
is there's, from what I can see in my version, I don't know if the other one's different. There's technically 4 costumes per character.
Yeah.
The one you start with, and then you can unlock 2, and it even tells you how to unlock them. You actually unlock pieces, so you're unlocking like a headpiece, a chest piece.
Well, that happens in most games.
Piece.
Yeah.
And then there's a third one that is locked. It doesn't even tell you how to unlock it. And I'm assuming that would be the one you're getting with.
So there's some that you can get while playing.
There's 2 additional that you can get while playing.
That's
just
okay.
For playing
then.
the game. And then
the other ones better be
that,
really fucking cool then if you're paying money for them.
Well, I think with that other pack,
it
might just unlock.
It
might just unlock them all right off the bat.
No, I'm sure.
So like you don't have to unlock them. Might be the deal.
Like in Borderlands, they have a bunch of different heads and shit you can get, and then they have the ones that you can purchase for a very small amount of money.
It's like $1.
Yeah, but they're pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But the other ones are cool enough, and there's 25 that you can unlock
quite a few.
just from playing, maybe more than that.
Right, and there's so.
But yeah, so having 2 that you can unlock and then 1 mediocre one for an extra $30 for all the characters,
pretty much. That would be my assumption, anyways.
It's a little ridiculous.
It is a little ridiculous. So I'm
maybe
I'm perfectly happy with my $20 purchase. And the game itself is solid.
It looks good.
I read some reviews on it right off the bat, and they were pretty much dead on. It's got the best tutorial system I've ever come across.
Well, that's nice.
In a fighting game. It really breaks it down, and they've made it very amateur or noob friendly. Like if it's your first fighting game, it's definitely a good one to start with. It breaks everything down, and for fighting games in general. But specifically for that game, it talks about frame rate and hit detection and hit boxes and
well, that's interesting.
Auto combos and manual combos. Mortal Kombat has.
They have an okay tutorial.
It's well, as far as their combos go, it's a kind of a hybrid of auto and manual. Street Fighter is manual.
Period. Oh yeah, all manual.
It's all manual. And Killer Instinct is you mainly use autos, but you have manuals as well, and it explains all of that. But it's very, very user friendly.
Is Cinder in the game?
No.
Oh, my favorite character.
No,
His combo was so stupidly easy.
We've got Jago, Glacius.
I like Glacius though. He was good.
Thunder.
I love Thunder.
Jade.
Yeah, Jade.
And Sadira is the new one. I like her a lot. That's who I use.
All the new ones in all the new fighting games are always better than the old ones because they don't have, they have brand new mechanics that maybe didn't exist before.
Right.
I always love it, and even in Street Fighter when it's like Ryu, it's like he's had the same moves for 15 years.
Right.
They don't really add much to them because they already have enough moves.
Right.
But then you always had new guys, and you're like, well, there's way cooler moves than my moves.
Right. There's one more, but it's not coming to me. Oh, Saberwolf.
Yeah, he was the one that was free, right? Who was
Jago was free.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, your generic, hero, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's solid. I've played some and the single player's kind of meh. You've got a traditional arcade version, and you've got a never-ending arcade version of Survival, and that's the only single player, other than peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
And then you've got online, and you've got ranked matches and public non-ranked matches. And it's good. I like it a lot. It's real smooth. It's fluid. It's fast. I don't have any lag issues. Don't have any glitch.
That's good.
It's not jagged at all. It's smooth the entire time. It's nice. I enjoy it quite a bit.
Then do you play Rise next, or?
I did. I played Rise next, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was. I was.
How long was it?
It's probably about 8 to 10 hours. Your first playthrough. It's pretty average. It's not short, but it's not terribly long. I was waiting for the reviews on it. I knew it was what I wanted my next gen introduction to be, but I kind of wanted confirmation because I'm not the biggest Dead Rising fan.
I heard Dead Rising 3 is pretty good.
I heard it was good too. My initial turn off was the fact that it's only 720p.
Upscaled.
Upscaled.
So it's Call of Duty.
Well, yeah. No, I know. But I wanted something graphical. For my introduction to next gen.
I see what you're saying.
I wanted something pretty that played well, and
I hear Rise is pretty too.
It is. It is beautiful. It is very pretty. The transition between gameplay and cutscene is so fluid that it's like the only thing you lose is you lose your HUD. Like you'll be walking in, your HUD will disappear, and it transitions to cutscene, and it looks just like gameplay. It's just beautiful.
Is it not gameplay?
No.
Oh, I always assumed that game like that, it would just be all gameplay, and then it would just look nice the whole time.
Well, it does look nice the whole time.
No. What I mean is like that in a lot of games they're making the graphics are good enough to where they don't have to actually use CGI for cutscenes. Right. I mean.
Oh.
So it looks good the whole time as it because sometimes the cutscenes look amazing.
Right.
And the game still looks good.
Say Diablo.
Oh yeah, the cutscenes are CGI. They're amazing.
Right.
I mean, even in StarCraft 2, the expansion, they actually went away from using a lot of CGI to using, because they upgraded the graphics a little bit, to using that as the instead of CGI, they're using just normal gameplay or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
Which I like that experience better.
I guess in all honesty, I probably couldn't tell you if it was CGI or not, but.
There was no loading. I can't imagine
there was the only loading in that game period was when I started it up.
Well, that's cool.
When I booted up,
Seamless
it loads, and it's a rather lengthy load screen. But
if you only have to do it once,
it's you're sitting there for 5 minutes, and you're like, come on.
Oh, it's a 5 minute load.
It's lengthy. They're lengthy. I don't know if it's 5 minutes, but it feels like 5 minutes.
Jeez, that's like a Skyrim load.
But like I said, that's the only load you get. Period.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for the reviews to come out for Rise.
Okay.
Trying to convince myself that I wanted this to be my introduction, and the first review I read was on Kotaku, and they gave it a good review. Pretty much confirmed everything that I wanted to hear, and then I decided to search elsewhere and see what everybody else was saying, and I went to GameSpot. And they hated it. And I went to IGN, and they hated it. But IGN's actually what sold me on it. And I read enough for the review that I was just like, it was one of those moments where I'm in my head, I'm talking to the journalist, and I'm like, you don't even like video games. Why do you even bother?
Yeah, IGN and GameSpot have a lot of people on their casts, or people that write for them, that they're probably good writers, but I don't think that they're actually gamers.
I don't know. I mean, I guess technically I kind of ran into the same thing when I reviewed Deadpool. I enjoyed the game, but when I had to break it down into its core elements, I couldn't give it a very good score.
Yeah, but that's also one of those games where it's like...
And I lacked to say that I enjoyed it overall.
Well, yeah, but you're not getting paid.
Right.
You're not a professional reviewer who works for a website.
Right.
You were just trying it out for the first time.
Anyways, I read enough of the review that I'm just like, okay, let's get down to your cliff notes and your score. And I scroll to the bottom, and it gives the pros, and then it gives the cons, and it gives the score, and they gave it like a 4 or 5 or something. But the cons
really
were
low.
hilarious. He used the word superfluous 3 times. All 3 of his cons started with superfluous, and I had to Google it because I didn't know what it meant.
I have no idea what
It means unnecessary.
Oh. You know what? That word is superfluous.
Yes. So he used it 3 times. And one of the cons was superfluous boob physics. And I went, I'm sold. I have to know what superfluous boob physics look like. And so I played and I was talking to a buddy at work about it, and I was like, I have to know. And I'd play it for a couple hours, and I'd go to work the next day, and I'd be like, still haven't come across superfluous boob physics yet. And I'd go home, and I'd play it for a couple hours. No, not yet. And then finally, I get to the end of the game, and I come across the superfluous boob physics. And I had to agree they were completely unnecessary and completely distracting.
But that's one of those things where it's like you're gonna do a con for a game for how long is this going on in the game?
The superfluous boob physics?
Yes.
A couple minutes.
That is not something worth mentioning.
Okay.
I understand it's probably ridiculous.
So,
but we've all played Dead or Alive. Like it's always ridiculous boobs.
Yeah, but they're okay. So Dead or Alive, you've got these giant knockers on these petite little girls.
Yeah.
And they jump, and the boobs fly up and drop down, and you're like, okay, it's a little over the top, but they're giant boobs. So in Rise,
those are decent sized boobs.
They're a handful. I'll bring them up on the screen here in a minute, and I'm going to play it. They're a handful. They should maybe have a little bounce to them. But I mean, more like sandbags, less like water balloons, right? All right. So we've met this character in the game, seen her for quite a bit, and this never happened until the very end of the game.
Oh, the boobs?
Yeah, we saw her. They were sandbags. They didn't have hardly any movement at all, and then at the very end of the game, this happens.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just in-game cutscene.
Yeah.
They had the blurring and camera effects.
The entire game looks this good.
Which is good.
I was very pleased with the
difference between 900p and 720p is ridiculous.
Is it?
The difference between 900p and 1080p is not that much.
Sure.
I mean, if they're reflecting in the water bouncing like that...
Just wait.
You see, Marius, it's not always in distant lands that our greatest enemies lurk.
Who are you? Why did this happen? My father was a hero of Rome.
Your father was a great general and a popular senator. Too popular, perhaps. The Emperor is a jealous man. A petty man.
I wonder if she's going to move again.
Lived to serve Rome. Emperor Nero serves only himself. He seeks
That doesn't seem weird to me.
I can't help but stare at them.
Well,
He believes himself.
yeah. But they're boobs. I can't help but stare at all boobs. It's not really like a gaming thing.
I just can't help but see the string going.
And other like-minded men wanted to return home.
I don't know.
I thought it was pretty distracting. Of course, I'm playing it on my 42-inch TV, and I'm sitting 3 feet away. And
again, I didn't see it before to see what they weren't looking like.
Well,
that didn't look unnatural to me. It just looked. It's probably unnatural for the rest of the game.
That could be.
Like it looked different.
It was pretty fitting that the only other word I ever heard about these ridiculous boob physics came today from Kotaku, and I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
I now have video to go along with my story. A lot of the complaints about Rise were the gameplay itself and how simplistic it was. And I had a bit more difficulty than pretty much every review I read. you have it's not so much a traditional hack and slash. It's not Devil May Cry. It's more Arkham series meets Assassin's Creed.
That's what it looked like when I saw gameplay.
Yeah, you've got your attack, which is X. You've got a block counter, which is A. You've got a dodge, which is B, and you've got Y. What's Y do?
Because
push. It's a push with your shield. It's a kind of a shield bash shove. Give me some room. And so certain enemies you can only like get 2 hits on them before you have to hit them with your shield to stumble them, and then you can get 2 more.
Yeah.
Certain enemies you have to wait for them to attack and you have to counter. Certain enemies you have to wait for them to attack and you have to dodge. And after you get so many hits on them, then a little skull pops up above their head.
You can
initiate your execution. So little skull pops up, you press B, and it goes into execution, which can save you from certain death every time. You can have a sliver of health.
You stop getting hit.
Yes, you can have a sliver of health with 20 guys around you, all swinging their swords, and you press that execute button, which was actually the right trigger, and everybody stops and watches you kill this guy.
That's a little weird.
and you cannot fail or mess up an execution. There'll be a glowing aura over their body, which will either be blue or yellow, indicating to press X or Y. And X is an attack with your sword, and Y is an attack with your shield. So you, in theory, can anticipate, okay, he's moving his shield forward, yellow's going to pop up, I'm going to be ready. As soon as it pops up, you hit it, and you get a better bonus. If you're wrong, he still goes through the execution, you just get less of a bonus. And they're all like 3-4 hit executions, so you've got to go back and forth. And so, I would have much rather say, like, I get 2 of the 4 right, and then I screw up the third one. I would have much rather, like, seen some dude rolling around on the ground in agony because he lost his arm without being able to cleanly finish him off.
Yeah.
I would have felt much worse about that failed execution than just a loss in points.
Yeah.
Or even, if I screw it up, they can counter and I have to redo the whole thing. But you can't fail. You can't even die. You get downed. You fall to one knee when you lose all your health, and then...
Rise, to me, I haven't played it obviously, but it seems like it's kind of the cinematic experience that was that one game with the 2 actors in it. I cannot think of that game.
Oh, Beyond Two Souls?
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls. Almost probably what like that kind of game experience will turn into, where the gameplay is easy, but there's still enough stuff going on,
right?
To where the cutscenes look good,
right,
in game, but there's enough going on to actually like be a game.
Yeah,
and that might have been their approach.
I don't know.
Because not being able to die is pretty weird.
It's irritating.
Well, it's just there's no.
It's an M-rated game. I mean, there's blood and gore everywhere. So why would you? Maybe
they didn't want to stop the. To be honest, maybe the load would have been ridiculous every time you died.
You still have to restart. I mean, you still go back to the last checkpoint every time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't have a death animation.
You just don't have a death animation.
Oh, I thought you went down to one knee and then your health got better and then you would pop back up.
No. You still like fail your mission or your objective or whatever you're doing, and you go back to the last checkpoint. But no animation, no final. I'm dead. It's Marius fell. Marius fell in combat.
Yeah.
So,
but
the story was
if you were going to rate it, obviously we're not talking 10 here because you said some cons, but you wouldn't have rated it a 4. You would have done like a 6.5 or a 7.
It would have been a good solid 7 or even an 8. I mean, I had enough difficulty with combat that
Didn't Call of Duty get 8?
Not from me.
Oh, okay. Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, trying to think of other games that got 8 that were pretty good games.
Well, I think Dead Rising only got 7.5 or 8s.
Dead Rising 3 or
Dead Rising 3, yeah. I'd probably be comfortable with a 7.5. You know, the combat.
The superfluous boobs wasn't enough to give you a negative point. It's a really weird thing to judge on.
It is. It was.
Like, is it on every single checklist? He's like, all right, does this game have weird boobs? It doesn't. All right, give it a point.
It's right at the end of the game, and we've seen her 5 or 6 times before in the game.
Probably a PS4 fanboy.
Close. I feel like a developer was just like, I'm gonna sneak in some physics here, you know? And like nobody's watching, and I'm gonna throw this in right at the last minute. Because it's just that one scene at the very end of the game. Like after that, there's like 20-30 minutes of gameplay left, and you're done, you know? But, you know, the entire time they're statues. You know, and then all of a sudden they're bouncing all over the place and pulling it weird. They don't bounce up, they bounce down.
Well, she's probably a kid or something.
She's a goddess.
I'm kidding. No, they looked a little weird. I understand what you're saying.
It was
but
weird.
It didn't look
like when you get used to her.
It didn't look so unnatural that I would give it.
Well, you're used to her enough by that point that you're just like, what the hell
just happened?
Yeah, you know, it just jumps right out at you, and it's definitely superfluous.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite word.
I think whoever wrote that review is just a douche.
Yeah, well. So no, overall I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the ending, and you know, combat was all right. It, you know, like I said, I struggled to get the executions down. And that was like the Kotaku review that I read was, they were pretty much like, well, by the time you're done playing with it, you're pretty much going to get perfect executions all the time because you can anticipate. And I'm like, I don't know. There's like 75% of the time, I think he's going in with that shield when actually he's cocking back his, you know, sword hand, and I'd get it wrong. But it does have multiplayer. It's co-op. It's not multiplayer. It's co-op. They call it multiplayer.
Well, I mean, technically they're not wrong.
No,
but they're not right.
There are
either.
multiple players, but it's it's not head to head. You're not, you know, going out. It's not Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
Well, multiplayer is synonymous with playing against other people.
Okay, yeah, it's co-op. It's totally co-op.
No, I know. I'm saying, but if it says they said multiplayer, it's obviously co-op.
Right. It's gladiator style. You're in an arena, and you know,
you're fighting with someone against NPCs.
Against NPCs. And there is a single player version of it where you can just go in solo and fight NPCs. I played that once.
Was it very fun?
It was all right.
Is there any benefit to doing it? Do you get something out of it?
You can earn items for your character, helmets, clothes, swords.
Can you do this at any point in the game, or is it only after you beat the game?
Any point.
Okay.
That's your own creative character. You know, in the campaign, you're Marius the entire time. So
you can get stuff for that character for multiplayer?
Playing multiplayer, I can get stuff.
I
can get combos, and
so it's worth it-ish, maybe.
Yeah. You're gonna get that stuff faster playing the campaign. In the campaign, you earn XP, and you can unlock executions and upgrade your health and your focus.
Oh, so everything in the arena you can get in the game.
In the arena, you get stuff to deck out your created player, you know, helmets, swords, shields, clothes, whatnot. But you can spend the coins that you earn in multiplayer
in single player
to unlock extra executions and things like that. In multiplayer, you earn gold. In single player, you earn XP. But you can spend them both to unlock stuff for single player. In multiplayer, you can only spend gold to unlock stuff in multiplayer.
So you'd almost want to maybe play multiplayer or co-op for an hour or 30 minutes, and then make your trip through the first time.
You know, I leveled up fairly quickly. Had I been better at the game, No, XP management doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You get four perks in the game. One, you can regain health for executions. One, you can regain focus for executions, and I learned how to use focus way too late in the game because it was incredibly helpful. One, you get extra damage, and then one earns you extra XP for every execution. So I pretty much ran with extra XP the entire time until I was almost dead, and then I'd run health. Way too late in the game, I learned how focus worked, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. And had I learned sooner, I probably would have had to gone to health a lot less, and I could have focused on earning XP when I needed it, or earning focus when I needed it, but mainly just grabbing XP all the time. I should have been using focus when I got in trouble rather than trying to get health back and just play it safe. But overall, I rather enjoyed it. And then after I was done with that, I decided to play some Call of Duty. I didn't touch Call of Duty
Better
for
experience?
a week. Yeah.
Smoother gameplay, or
Oh, much. God. Multiplayer on the Xbox One feels like single player. It's so smooth. It's so fluid. It feels like single player.
Well, let's admit you're playing on
I'm playing on servers that only have 22,000 people playing.
Yeah, well, that plus it's not a hack shift half. Wasn't it like a half peer-to-peer, half?
Yeah.
So that really hinders the experience.
So, I played one match after I got done with Rise and was like, wow, this is a vast improvement. I got beat once in a head-to-head. We both ran around a corner and saw each other, and we both raised up and we both fired, and I watched my bullet travel, and it was say, yay, far from him when his bullet hit me and I died, and I went, I got beat. I didn't scream going, bullshit, I got beat. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I knew it. Fine by me. I've played quite a bit more since, and I've had moments where I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
It's always gonna happen in a multiplayer game, but if it happens one time out of 10 or twice out of 10, your anger goes down because it doesn't happen again for a while. When it happens 15 times in a row, you're like, fuck this game.
Right.
I'm done.
No,
for the day.
The irritation now is some of the general problems with the Xbox One. Okay.
Which I guess we can get into that if you want.
We're going to get into that.
Well, I have it on the thing there.
Right, yeah.
There's been some really weird things.
Yeah, it's strange. Okay, so I got in there and I was like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. And I did my research once I got it, because I knew I could hook up my headset. So I get in there and I hook up my headset and I turn on my surround sound for my headset and I don't have any sound. I'm like, what the hell? So I go and turn surround sound off, go back to stereo, and I have sound. I have surround sound headphones. I have Turtle Beaches.
Yeah.
But apparently I don't have DTS surround Turtle Beaches because whatever surround sound option they offer for optical output is non-compliant. It doesn't work with
That's weird.
Yeah. So I can, and apparently this is everybody. If you hook up external headphones via optical, which is what they all run off of, you only get stereo right now.
Oh, so no matter which ones you have.
No matter which ones.
Even,
if you've got
even
Astros, if you've got whatever.
Yeah.
Tritons, you're getting stereo. And then...
It's because they're trying to nerf your Call of Duty experience. They don't want you to hear that guy from a block away. And
I still hear him. I just don't... I know he's on the right side somewhere.
You just don't know specifically.
I don't know if he's behind me or in front of me, but I know he's over here, so I watch. So that was my initial, okay, well, I enjoy my overall Xbox One experience. I'm very pleased with it, and I am very aware that they are behind. I am very aware of things that are going to come. In 6 months, it's going to be awesome. Most people, it's probably not something they want to jump into right now. It's clearly missing things. There is no way to check the battery life on your controller.
Oh yeah, and also there was no way to check the file size.
Right.
Like how much space you have in your hard
to,
drive.
no way to check how
That's
much
pretty
space you have
basic.
left on your hard drive. All things we were used to on the 360. You know, you push the home button, you bring up your dashboard, and you can see your battery life.
Yes, you know if you
now,
need to do
if you hit the home button, it minimizes your whatever you're doing, and you get your whole dashboard, which is fine. It's awesome. Depending on what you're doing. I mean, obviously you can. Okay, so I hit the home button. It minimizes. I get my whole screen. I can move around, and I lose control of my game, but I don't lose my place in my game.
Yeah.
So I can go do something else. I can check a message. I can check my achievements. I can go change a setting. I can do anything. I can go to Netflix and watch 20 minutes of a movie, and then go right back into where I was on my game with no load time, no home screen, no nothing. That's pretty nice. There's recent players. Like I've been playing Killer Instinct quite a bit. There's no way for me to go see a recent list of people that I've played against. So if I come across a douchebag,
So how the hell would you ignore them or do certain specific, or even invite some, or even add someone?
Right. It's a pain in the ass.
We like memorize their name and then type it in.
You have to remember their name, and heaven forbid it's something stupid that's got 3 different sized X's before and after, and some cryptic bullshit in the center.
And a weird
You have
A.
to go type their name in, and then you can only disapprove somebody. You can't approve somebody. You can't prefer somebody. You have 2 options. You have block and report. That's how they're maximizing here's how you're not going to play with people you don't like anymore. You're going to block them. And as you block them, their rating will drop. So that whole method is ridiculous.
Hey,
now, Call of Duty...
They're promising improvements. Okay?
I know they are. And I know they're going to come. I just hope that...
those are pretty basic things, though.
Pretty basic things. Those are things that we were used to and happy with.
In this game or in this thing, put in this
operating system. Yeah,
that's usually almost anyone's ever complaint with any sequel to whatever they're doing. Like if it's a game or a console or a TV or whatever, it's got to have at least what the last one had,
right?
And then you add more. It's called innovation,
right?
Like that's
that's probably my biggest complaint. That's my biggest gripe.
Yeah, no battery and hard drive is super weird.
Yeah,
like,
I have
that seems like an easy fix.
I have to get some playing charge.
Don't they have like probably the best programmers in the world, or some of the best programmers in the world working for them?
It'll come. That's
some
of the stuff they're missing is just strange. But that's why we're not getting third-party headsets until next year, because they don't have the surround sound figured out or done or something there.
I didn't hear about that.
Did I not get the opportunity to talk about that? We talked about
no. I mean, you just talked about it. I'm just saying,
what, a month ago?
Yeah, we talked about how you weren't going to get another headset because you figured out yours was going to work just fine, right?
I figured out I could listen, but I couldn't chat.
Oh, okay.
And you wanted me to jump on the Twitter at Turtle Beach and find out.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I did that. I just kept forgetting to talk about it.
That's right.
And they can. And the same day I did it, there was articles out about we're not getting adapters or third-party headsets until next year. All of a sudden, because up until that point on Turtle Beach's website, you could pre-order. Now it just says coming soon. You can't even pre-order anymore.
It had to halt production.
Microsoft, no, they're done. They have them. They're ready.
Oh,
Microsoft won't allow them to release the technology. Microsoft hasn't released the technology
to them to probably finalize their product,
to allow them to sell them to the general public. Every major tournament we're watching that features Xbox Ones, all the Call of Duty tournaments we were seeing, the World Tour they were doing for the Xbox One. Every single one of those, you see them wearing Turtle Beach headsets.
And then another thing on
they say 7 on them. XO7.
I feel like they all had an extra thing on their neck, though. When I saw,
did you see some with the fancy neck voice things or?
No. They had normal headsets on, and then they had. That's probably their sponsor. That happens sometimes. I was trying to think of maybe the headset part wasn't working, and they had to use something else to communicate.
That could be. I could take my microphone, my chat mic, and just wrap it around my neck. I never thought of that actually. I was always thinking about like breaking it off, but
just tuck tape it on there.
Of course, one of the first things I saw and looked for was people modifying the cord and making it adaptable to their Turtle Beaches and Tritons, and it's been done. And there's videos
probably is. I wouldn't do it because I'm not good enough with that kind of stuff to try.
I just need a soldering kit and a 3.5 millimeter jack.
Oh,
that's all I need. Yeah.
Oh, to plug it into that port.
To plug into my port. So I don't know. I might if I decide to go spend the money on a soldering kit or just wait.
Yeah, probably just wait. It's not that big of a deal because once you change it, I guess it'll work with that forever. But it's just why modify something?
I'm all sorts of.
Oh, that's fine.
So. Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of other Xbox news that I saw.
Yeah, no,
mostly just some complaints, and then obviously there's some good things too. I mean, people are enjoying their system and having a good time, and there isn't a lot of.
They've had some of the launch issues that Sony's had, but they're both like less than 1%. Nobody's really having these.
Yeah.
We're not having red rings of death and whatnot.
Yeah, 40% of the consoles aren't not working or something weird happening.
Yeah, there's some disk drives not working, which you could,
Well, that's expected though. If I was to go on Newegg and order 300 of one hard drive, I guarantee you 20 of them won't work.
Right, and you could even chalk it up to dropped packages from UPS or whatever.
I actually would chalk it up more to that than anything else.
Right. But Microsoft's responding to it quite well. They're doing expedited exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to send you a new one before you have to send your broken one back. So you're going to have it in 2 or 3 days. They're also offering a free game with everyone having issues.
That's cool.
So they're taking care of people real quick.
So you want to have issues then?
Yeah, you get a free game.
$60.
Go drop your. Yeah, I haven't seen anything
it came
on
out
what
of the box
games they're
looking like
offering.
it fell off the plane.
I would hope you would get your choice, and I do kind of want to play Dead Rising 3. I just don't want to pay for it.
There's not that many options to choose
from.
No,
I know there's not. There's not, and that's kind of my other. That's another irritation I'm getting into is, I can't none of my friends don't have it yet, so I can't play with my friends. And I've got this thing in my head where I'm like, well, I'm either gonna wear my Turtle Beaches and not chat with anybody, or I'm going to not be able to hear footsteps and I'm going to chat with people, and I'd much rather just not chat with people and wear my Turtle Beaches, but then nobody chats.
That's probably a big issue right now, are annoying kids.
I haven't come across very many. Fucking Kinect microphones. Turn your goddamn Kinect microphones off.
Oh yeah,
they're so bad.
That should automatically be off. It should be an option you turn on.
Yes, it should be an option to turn it on.
That happened.
I didn't know mine was on for like 5 days
until you started maybe hearing like I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it if you have multiple mics on and like you're talking, you'd probably hear yourself really weird. Some feedback's going on.
That's probably
echoes.
What it was. I was hearing some echoes while playing Killer Instinct. If I play Call of Duty, I've got my Turtle Beaches on and I turn the TV down, so the only sound's coming from my headset. So I never had any problems there. But playing Killer Instinct, I'm listening to the TV. I don't need my Turtle Beaches. And every time somebody talked, I would get this weird
well, it was
feedback,
like
and
they were talking through the TV.
They were talking through the TV,
through
which was going through my Kinect, and then back. Yeah, yep. I didn't even think of that.
The infinite loop of feedback.
Yeah. So I did end up going in and turning it off because I don't need it on, and that kind of went away.
Yeah.
People are kind of clear when they talk shit now.
Yeah.
I'm not bad at Killer Instinct either, so I get a kick out of people that talk shit and then get their ass handed to them.
All right.
The controller. Last thing I got to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I got to talk about the controller.
Do you like it or not like it?
I do like it.
How's your thumbs? Do they sore from the different thumb pads?
Okay. No. Okay. So the thumbsticks are a little bit taller.
Mm-hmm.
That takes some getting used to in Call of Duty. When you're used to
I agree.
a controller and then you get this new one.
Well, especially since you played Call of Duty on the 360 and then switched to the one, it's not like you just
right. It's not like I'm getting used to a new game.
Time, it would have been fine, probably.
Right. It's not like I'm getting into the next, the next one. So that I knew that was going to take some getting used to. My first game, I broke even, and I would put that to controller useness. They're a little bit longer, and they've got so the design's different. They're not as round. The diameter's smaller. The height is taller. They've got this kind of serrated outlining. Rather than the 360 controllers, it's all smooth and you've got 4 dots in the center for grip. These have this serrated kind of outside.
So you know where the outside of the controller is.
Right, and then the center's hollow and smooth, but it's so small, like your thumb doesn't really fit in there. But the change from the smoothness of the inside of the thumbstick to the serrated is kind of rough. It's kind of sharp and jagged, which is going to wear away. But at first, that's a definite irritation.
Yeah, your thumb's going to wear away.
No, it didn't really bother my thumb, but
kidding.
it's an irritation. I mean, it's obvious and it's awkward, and I'm to the point now to where it's gone, and it's fine. The thumbsticks, the triggers are more responsive. I do like the layout. My only complaint would be the bumpers. The bumpers do not have full response from left to right. If heaven forbid, I don't know why your finger would be all the way on the inside of the bumper.
Hands.
You could have big hands. You're not going to be able to press the bumper. If you're on the outside, you're going to press it just fine. If you're laying over the middle, it's going to have a little bit more resistance. But I've got long hands, but they're skinny, so I got skinny fingers. So I don't have a problem with it, but I do like the feel and the curvature of them.
I don't know. I might have a problem because sometimes I would my hands aren't humongous, but I'm a big guy, so they're bigger than a normal person's hand.
Yeah.
And even on the normal 360, I'd actually would have that problem sometimes it'd be better
bumpers,
because
like say the bumper on the 360 is like yay big.
Yeah.
The bumper on the Xbox One's like yay big.
Oh, so it's bigger bumper,
and
but it doesn't have the response in the same
area. You don't have response all the way on. Like, say you're all the way on the inside, you can't push straight down.
Oh.
If you were laying your fingers over it, you could initially pull, and you'd be fine. It would activate. It's awkward. It's different. It's not as responsive as the 360 controller was. But I don't see why your fingers would be in there, because your fingers are gonna be on the trigger and kind of laid over the bumpers.
Yeah.
Which is nice. You couldn't really do that with the 360 controller.
That's good.
So that's my overall Xbox One
experience so
far.
Sounds pretty positive for the most part.
I do. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's definitely fluid and faster, and I enjoy talking to my Xbox.
Unless you're playing these two games. Did you see this?
I haven't.
Nice segue, actually. Thank you.